Yo, dudes, the Empire's pretty chill. Maybe you could, like, join it or something.
Hey everyone, Luke Immerse Prime here, so it's time for the next episode series of Old is Better Than New. And in today's video, I'm going to be covering another example of a movie franchise where, in my opinion, old is better than new. And I say this in terms of both the films and also the video games of this franchise as well. Because when it comes to this franchise, I like to imagine this franchise as only being a trilogy. And when it comes to its games, I don't think it was much better in the old, absolutely. Mainly because of an upcoming game that's coming out when it comes to films. One particular film which I think is absolute trash from what I've heard all about it, because I'm very, very aware what happens in it. And also one film that came after a third film which in my opinion was not needed and was in my opinion mediocre. And this franchise, where in my opinion the old is better than the new, is none other than Indiana Jones. So, when it comes to my opinion on Indiana Jones as a franchise then, so in my opinion, Indiana Jones works best as a perfect trilogy. And when it comes to my experience watching the films, I have watched the trilogy tons and tons of times in my life, and my personal favourite film, which is also my favourite film directed by Steven Spielberg of all time, is Raiders of the Lost Ark. Like, that film is one of my favourite films of all time, my favourite Spielberg film, and one of those films from my childhood which I have tons and tons of fond memories watching for the first time. I mean, if you guys want to see me showing pure love for a film, then please check out my review for it. Like, I just love everything about Raiders of the Lost Ark. And Temple of Doom, in my opinion, is also a very good film, and in my opinion, very underrated as well. For some reason, it's apparently a prequel to Raiders of the Lost Ark. In my opinion, it feels more like a sequel than a prequel. I like to pretend it's a sequel, to be completely honest, because it doesn't feel like a prequel at all, in my opinion. But it's still, in my opinion, an underrated film, and I definitely really enjoy it. Then we also have The Last Crusade in 1989, of course, which, in my opinion, is a great end to a great trilogy. Absolutely, just timeless in every single way. And I definitely really love it, because it has a phenomenal ending, of course, with Indiana Jones reconciling with his father, and they both ride off into the sunset with their two best friends, you know, being Salah and Marcus Brody on horses. Definitely a very happy ending for the characters right there. And the film was just, in my opinion, absolutely amazing. And when it comes to video games, I definitely love a lot of Indiana Jones' old games. So, for example, on PS2, I, of course, have Indiana Jones and Emperor's Tomb. I've seen clips of this gameplay on YouTube, guys. I've seen walkthroughs of it. It's definitely, in my opinion, a really amazing game, especially for its time as well, which is incredible. And I also, as well, think the franchise was also very strong in terms of Lego. Only in one game, though, because the game after this one, I am not a fan of. And that, of course, is Lego Indiana Jones' The Original Adventures. I definitely absolutely love this game. In my opinion, one of the best Lego games of all time. Just, in my opinion, an incredible game, which is lots of fun. And I have it, of course, on PS3 to replay one day when I revisit it. I've already played it many times when I was a kid, so I can't wait to replay it again. It's going to be really fun. So, that is, of course, my opinion on Indiana Jones is, of course, films and games that I do love. When it comes to the shows of it, I do plan to one day watch the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles. I'm definitely really keen on checking out that show as a prequel, of course, to a franchise. I'm also with Harrison Ford guest stars in it, as well as Indiana Jones at one point, one of the characters in his 50s. And also we have an epilogue scene with him as an old man, where, of course, people regard it as the true end to a character before the next film after Last Crusade came along. And speaking of that film, of course, we sadly get to stuff after Last Crusade that I am not a fan of when it comes to films, because in 2008, we got The Kingdom of Crystal Skull. Now, I've seen that film a handful of times, and personally, when it comes to a trilogy, I'm not really a fan of it when you compare it to a trilogy. In my opinion, when you compare it to a trilogy, it's very disappointing, in my opinion, and I'm just not a fan of it. I mean, the good things of it, of course, is Harrison Ford has still got it as Indiana Jones. He's definitely, in my opinion, much better in this film than he was in the next film, that's for sure. Because he's still got it as a character. And the action scenes, in my opinion, were also okay too, as well, in my opinion. And I love how about Marion. And I love how it ended, of course, Indiana Jones and Marion getting married. A very happy ending for the characters. But it was unfortunately ruined by a stupid gag where, of course, Indiana Jones' long-lost son, who, of course, is Mutt Williams, tries to put on his hat and they make him out to be the next hero. But thankfully, Indy takes it off and puts it on. So thankfully, of course, they got rid of that idea. But it was still, in my opinion, a dumb idea to include it in the first place, nonetheless, though. But But when it comes to bad qualities, I've already of course mentioned Mutt. The film unfortunately introduced really annoying characters. For example, Mutt Williams, I could not stand Mutt in the film. He was very annoying in my opinion. Shia LaBeouf, in my opinion, is a good actor and he's got good direction. But I think he's much better in other films than he is as Mutt in my opinion. And I also feel the film relied far too much on CGI. Because one thing that, in my opinion, makes the trilogy stand out is that, of course, it had really good visual effects for its time. Mainly due to things like practical effects and some CGI, which in my opinion holds up really well. We can definitely thank Industrial Light and Magic for that. But I don't know what happened with Kingdom Crystal Skull's visual effects because I feel the film relied far too much on it. And also, as well, the film, in my opinion, got boring many times too. Because one thing about the trilogy, which in my opinion makes it so amazing, is when I watch it, I'm never bored at all. Like, this is an example of a franchise where you can be drawn into a film and you can have an escape. Because you're transported into a world full of adventure, mystery. Like, it's just incredible, really. And I just didn't really have that in the fourth film. I don't know what happened at all. Like, it got really boring. And considering, of course, its runtime, it shocks me how long it is. Because how boring it is. It feels longer than its runtime. Like, I don't know what happened at all. And not to mention, as well, there's also loads of plot holes in the film as well, too, compared to the trilogy, which really sucks as well. So I don't know what happened there at all. But for what it is worth, though, despite not being a fan of the film, I would gladly watch that over other things, for example, the Disney War sequel trilogy, because this film was actually the last Indiana Jones film to be made before Disney, of course, bought Lucasfilm in 2012, so it was their last film, of course, before Disney got their hands on Lucasfilm, unfortunately. So I'd rather watch the sequel trilogy, and I would also most definitely watch it over the next film we got, of course, last year, which, of course, was none other than Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Now, I want to make it perfectly clear that I have not seen the film at the time of this recording, and I quite frankly don't want to, hopefully never will see it. But I have read the film's plot, and I've seen people's reviews for it, and from what I've heard, I'm really furious about how this franchise has ended, because they've marketed it as, of course, the last one of the franchise, but then again, well, this is Disney, so they're probably going to continue at one point anyway, knowing them. But for the time being, it's apparently the end of a franchise, but from what I've read about it, you call that a franchise finale? Because I have heard about it, and I just can't believe what they've done. So, for example, of course, they completely ruined Indiana Jones, because guess what? The film isn't even about him, it's about his goddaughter, who, of course, is Helena. Now, from what I've seen of her, she's absolutely insufferable. I've seen clips of her, and they, in my opinion, introduced a terrible character. Like, she's such a bad character. I would gladly take Willie from Temple of Doom, and also even Mutt over her, millions of times over, because of how unlikable she was. It also doesn't help she played by Phoebe Waller-Bridge, who's an actress I don't like. I'm not a fan of her at all as an actress or as a person, so screw her all the way. And her character is just so unlikable and insufferable. Probably, in my opinion, the worst character in the entire franchise, because she's just utter trash, in my opinion. And the story, in my opinion, is also an absolute joke. I mean, one reason why I knew this one was going to fail when they, of course, first announced it, of course, and what it was going to be about from the rumours, was it was introducing time travel. At the time, it was just a leak at first, so I was hoping it wouldn't be true, of course. But sadly, it was true. They actually have the guts to include time travel in Indiana Jones' film. So, like, did they completely forget the franchise's genre? It's an adventure franchise, not a sci-fi franchise. You're getting confused with Star Wars. Oh my goodness. So, and that was also an issue with Kingdom Crystal Skull, how it included aliens. But this is much worse. Oh my goodness. So, I just really think that this film is dumb as hell. It's an abomination, and do not expect me to watch it anytime soon. And I know some people might probably say to me, you know, that the opening scene's probably the only good part of the film, but no, I wouldn't agree, because I've seen clips of the opening scene, and even that, in my opinion, is trash. Because they actually de-aged Harrison Ford to be like his younger self in the opening, and in my opinion, the CGI is terrible because his voice is out of sync with his mouth, and also my face flickers several times in the shots of him. Even in dark scenes, it's really bad CGI, when they could have concealed it, but no, they just messed it up. And also, what's also worse is, for some reason, they didn't even make his voice sound younger in the flashbacks. He just sounds like regular Harrison Ford today speaking, not his younger self. And that really was just so distracting in a bad way, because he's not supposed to sound like that. I mean, I love Harrison Ford as an actor, but I'm not going to deny that his voice has changed over the years with his age, of course. So we could have done something about it. I mean, they did it with Luke Skywalker in Mandalorian. Could we have done it with Harrison Ford in this as Indiana Jones? But no, we didn't do that. Not to mention, the villain, in my opinion, is also a generic joke as well, Jurgen Voller. I mean, Mads Mikkelsen's a fantastic actor, but he really was, in my opinion, screwed over in this film. So, I have no plans to see this film, and hopefully, one day I'll never have a chance to see it, because it looks like a complete and utter waste of time, if you ask me. Like, wasting beloved characters, because even as well wasted Marion too as well, because she and Indiana Jones are divorcing, because guess what? Mort got killed in the Vietnam War. I mean, I didn't like the character much in Russell Skull. I thought he was very annoying, but in my opinion, he didn't deserve to die like that. No. So that was just, my opinion, a really dumb move. And the time travelling scene, in my opinion, is also an absolute joke. And how the film ends is just horrible. That's why I ask them if they actually have the guts to call it a franchise finale, because it's anything but a franchise finale. It's terrible. I mean, hopefully they won't do any more films. I mean, Harrison Ford has said it is his last time playing Indiana Jones. But knowing Disney, will probably do more. You just never know these days, really, but we'll probably do more. And sadly, a film franchise is also even more dead thanks to video games too, because when it comes, of course, to LEGO territory, this game unfortunately got a sequel, being LEGO Indiana Jones 2, The Adventure Continues. I play that game on Xbox 360, and sadly, guys, from my experience of playing games, that game was probably the worst LEGO game I've been fortunate time of playing. There's probably much worse games out there that I've not played, but this one has to be the worst one I've actually played. Because, in my opinion, it was terrible. Like, the gameplay absolutely sucked, and the gameplay was repetitive, rinse and repeat, and they changed so many things that happened in the film in a really bad way, in my opinion. And this sequel was only focused on Kingdom Crystal Skull because it had, like, 3 chapters for that film, but only 1 chapter for the original trilogy of films, so I sense favouritism. But yeah, screw that sequel all away. In my opinion, it's the worst LEGO game I've been fortunate time of playing, and I don't plan to revisit it on PS3. No chance. I'll stick to the original game on PS3. Definitely not a sequel. And when it comes to mainstream, regular Indiana Jones games, which aren't LEGO, there's an upcoming video game, of course, which is Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, and I have no interest in playing that game now. I used to be when first announced it about 4 years ago, I think it was, but I have no interest in playing the game. Because, if you remember my company I hate, which is Bethesda, and not to mention, the trailers for it, in my opinion, were very appalling. And who wants a first-person Indiana Jones game? Seriously, I don't want that. Like, he's not meant to be a first-person shooter character, no. He's supposed to be an adventurer, so I'm expecting like a third-person platforming game like Uncharted or Tomb Raider. But no, they just messed up even more. And in addition to that, the behind the scenes for the game, of course, which were released, further told me it was going to be trash because one of the developers said they were making a game for a modern gaming audience. When you say that, that's the kiss of death for a franchise right there. So, that told me everything I needed to know. The game's going to be trash. The trailers also sucked as well, in my opinion. The story, in my opinion, was appalling from what I saw of it. So, I have no interest in playing this game, and thankfully, even if I want to, I can because it's an Xbox Series X exclusive, so do not expect to play anytime soon, thankfully because of that reason, because I'm a PS5 player. So, screw it again all the way, I have no interest in playing it. And when it comes to Indiana Jones in the game as well, I love Troy Baker as a voice actor, but in my opinion, he does not fit Indiana Jones when it comes to who he's playing. I mean, they could have got a much better sounding alike than Troy Baker with Harrison Ford. For example, Anthony Gruber, who's played young Harrison Ford characters like in The Age of Adeline, and also the opening scene of Dial of Destiny, even though his voice was done over by Harrison Ford in post-production for that scene. Or we could have also got maybe Keith Ferguson, or AJ Locasio, or maybe anyone else who sounds like Harrison Ford, maybe even Ross Marquand. Because there's several actors I know who could probably sound a lot like Harrison Ford, who we could have got instead, but no, they didn't even try, so yeah, screw this game all the way. I mean, I love Troy Baker, but in my opinion, he doesn't fit Indiana Jones. So, that's my opinion on Indiana Jones, guys. I don't think it's a big example where I can say old is better than new for films and for games. So, what I'll do is I'll stick to the original trilogy when it comes to what I watch. Maybe one day I might watch Kingdom again, maybe because I do think it's okay. It's not trash, I think it's okay in my opinion. And for games, I'll play with all games like LEGO Indiana Jones Visual Adventures. And also, as well, of course, The Emperor's Tomb, which I also have on PS2 here. And hopefully I'll get more games as well for Indiana Jones, which are old. But do not expect to play Great Circle anytime soon. No chance. So, guys, this is me, of course, doing the next episode of Old is Better Than New. I'll say why, in my opinion, Indiana Jones is better than old than new. So, you know, drill, guys. Be sure to this video a like. Also, be sure to leave in the comments what you guys think Indiana Jones think Old is Better Than New. Follow me in the comments below. Also, be sure to join the team by my press and subscribe videos coming in the future. And you chose wisely to watch this video.